back in the studio with Roy O'Connor, who is our representative on the board of directors. And he always has some interesting notes for us about what's happening at that level that we don't see much about. But we've got a new organization that Roy's going to try to explain to us. So welcome, Roy.
Hi, good morning. Yvonne, here we are again, right? I think the last time we got together was in November before our December town hall meeting.
Yes.
And I thought the town hall went well. We had a good turnout of residents.
Good.
And at that time, we had a chance to talk a little bit about the new organization, which I thought, we'd mainly focus on this morning. But I'd like to just try to keep it simple. In other words, what does it mean to the average resident?
Yeah, and I'm not sure it's all that simple.
Yeah.
I've lived here for a long time, and I haven't figured it out yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope I have, and we'll see. We'll see. It's a work in progress.
Right.
But, we accomplished, before I do that, I think I can't begin really without saying, my best to everyone out there. I know that a lot of people are kind of confined to their apartments, more or less, and so let's hope soon that'll change. I know we still have the suspension of group activities through Friday.
Yeah.
But, it's really for our own good.
It is.
Because these, whether it's the GI virus or the flu, either one is very contagious.
Sure.
And so we don't wish that upon anybody, and hopefully things will improve. So we're in that state through Friday, the 19th, and then we'll see. The forecast, is for better weather next week, so at least 40, 50 degrees, that sounds really,
that sounds nice.
Really nice,
that
right?
Sounds nice.
So we'll see what happens on that. But I think, Greenspring accomplished a lot last year, many things. I think one of the biggest things is we started the Garden Ridge repositioning.
Before you go on, I forgot to mention that this is a call-in show. So if you have some questions, and hopefully you do for Roy, the number is 703-663-3333. So call, and Roy's open to answering any questions you might have. So go ahead now, Roy, about the Garden Ridge.
Well, Garden Ridge, and people ask me, Roy, what's going on over there? Well, of course, I think most people know, it's a major addition. It's called Dogwood Commons, the new building. It's really taking shape now.
Yeah,
so
I noticed that.
You can even see it from the parkway. I mean, with the leaves off the trees and everything. And if you go, when the ban is lifted on visitors being allowed there, you can see the structure, the 4-story structure, is going up very quickly. So hopefully that new building will be ready by next summer.
Okay.
For qualification and approvals. It's going to have 89 new rooms, 30 memory care, and then the balance will be assisted living. And these are larger assisted living units than we currently have. But then, that's not the end of it. I mean, the plan after that is to move residents from the older facilities into Dogwood Commons, and then go back and renovate the rooms that do not have private showers.
Okay.
And so for every 3 existing old rooms, they'll make 2 rooms to make room for private showers in each of them. Okay. So when we get all done with this, the total number of rooms, in Garden Ridge doesn't go up that much.
Right, that's what
I think it's 18 total, so a little over 300 total. But it's going to be a great addition. At the same time, George Ryall, our administrator, has given updates on the inside renovations of the old part, like in Rosewood Court, 3 and 4. They've finished the dining areas and the common areas. They are working on floors 1 and 2 on the Rosewood side, and we're beginning on, and they're now beginning in January on Evergreen on the other building. So the idea is to renovate all those common areas, bring them up to a new, modern, good-looking approach. So that's a big project, and I'm so glad it's underway.
Yes.
We really need to have the best facilities to remain competitive with other, CCRCs in the area. So that's big. The other thing is, coming into this year, hopefully by the middle of this year, 2018, we're in it already here, we'll begin the repositioning of Town Center.
Oh, okay.
And so that had really two parts. One is the inside of the old current Town Center, you know, the downstairs part, the lobby. We'll be moving the sales department up to Town Center. We'll be moving administration and finance down here to Village Square. Okay. This will be a real plus for the marketing department because as we bring in new prospective residents, we can show off the new facilities, and they'll be right there close to that happening. We're also going to upgrade the dining room upstairs, fireside dining room. There'll be a new grill that will be put in there. And when we get done, the total seats for the old existing fireside and the new grill will be about the same. So it'll take a little space away from fireside to do that. The cafe will continue to operate as it is. So there's a lot planned. And management, you know, led by Chandra Kumar, they're working on the phasing program of how all this is going to happen. We're supposed to have a meeting sometime before the end of the month. It may be delayed because of our current flu problems,
Right.
but to meet with the architects again who are working on final drawings. So I'm anxious to see that. If we can get started in the summer, I think we'll be working first on the things I just mentioned. And then that will probably take about a year. So I would say in 2019 is when we'll start work on the new pool and fitness center,
Okay.
which involves demolition of the old pool and then the new structure out into the courtyard. In addition to the regular fitness center for all the equipment and everything, we're going to have an all-purpose room, which will have 15-foot high ceilings, which will be nice for pickleball players, and
Right.
also maybe we can talk Brad into ordering a basket if people want to shoot
Oh, for basketball.
basketballs or something like that.
That would be nice.
I'd like to see that. So a lot going on. Now, at the board meeting in December, they reviewed the budget, as I mentioned to you, but they also talked about the new structure. And I'd like to just talk about that a little bit because it goes into effect April 1st of this year.
Yeah, I
We've been
think
working on this for a year and a half.
Right.
Okay,
I
but-
think we'd like to really know how that's going to affect
Yeah.
us as individuals.
Right. I think it should be more efficient. I think it should bring more efficiency across the whole enterprise. What I mean enterprise, I mean all of the Erickson communities. And I have one chart to kind of show people the structure.
Okay.
And I hope they can just follow along with me for a minute. Maybe they can put that up on the screen for me. And I'll talk a little bit about it.
There it is.
Okay. It's a big chart, and maybe if we can, at the top you see National Senior Campuses, 15 directors. That's an existing body, which is what we call our supporting board. And they've been in place for many years.
Okay.
When Green Spring was set up almost 19 years ago, they were the sponsoring organization. Below that, you see there are 8 advisory committees. And I'll come back to that in a minute. For example, I serve on 2 of them. I serve on the audit committee and also on the investment committee. So, but if you focus more towards the lower part of the chart, we have the community board, okay? And that is made up of the 15 directors from NSC, plus the resident director or director who lives in a community. That's me.
Okay.
So 16 people. And right below that, you have the Community Relations Committee. So if you're a resident wondering, you know, what are all these boards and everything above me, this chart shows you. I mean, we have, I'll start with the bottom again, the Community Relations Committee. That's a board committee of 3 people. On that, we have Jackson Bain, Eileen Erstead, who recently replaced Betty Price, and myself, the 3 of us. And we are going to be the main interface with the community as we go forward. You'll see more of the Community Relations Committee than you will of the whole board. I mean, because the whole board now is concerned with governance over all 16 communities.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Community Relations Committee is a very important function in that we plan to meet at least 4 times a year 2 times with the resident council and 4 times with the management. And by the way, we did that last year. So we've sort of been practicing this already.
Right.
And I think it was well received. The council, I know we met again in February last year and then in August with the whole council. We had a chance to just throw it open to whatever was on everybody's mind. And, you know, the council is such a key part of the whole operation here at Green Spring. Their advisory, an advisory function to management. And they are the elected representatives of the residents. So their input is very, very important. And so, you know, weekly, daily, the officers, the council members are interacting with the department directors through the committee meetings and so on. And that's happening all the time. But as I say, twice a year, the CRC, because we want to really get in there and make sure we understand feedback from the residents through their representatives. We'll meet with them formally twice, maybe more if we need to. So it's been good so far, you know. And we'll
Now,
keep
when you
on.
mention the council, what you're talking about is the resident council.
The resident council.
That we elect.
We elect, right.
And they are the ones that, if we have well, either a beef or a compliment, they need to hear it.
Exactly, exactly. And you know, I think we have so many avenues. If you're a resident, let's say you have a problem with a service, my first recommendation is that, you know, you go to that department. I mean, if it's a problem, you need to get your sink fixed, of course you call General Services, and hopefully they respond and they do a great job. Probably within 24 hours, somebody's in your apartment.
Right.
Now, if you're not satisfied with that service, then you have an avenue to go to the resident council. And there's a committee dedicated just to general services.
And those are all posted on the bulletin board as to who they are.
They're on the board, dining, whatever it is. And, you know, that's the thing to do. I think you can go to them. You can make out comment cards anywhere along the way. And I can't tell you how important it is, the role that they play. And the management company is here to run the operation.
All right.
The board, I mean, we're here to provide the governance, the oversight, the long-range planning. We're concerned about maintaining financial stability for the community today as well into the future. And so far I can report, you know, we're really in good shape on that. And so it's been very, very good. As part of this whole structure, it used to be we had the South Region Board, where there's 3 regions for Erickson.
Right.
Well, that's going to be eliminated effective April 1st. You notice on that chart I showed before. Can we just put that up one more time? If you show the chart, just slide it up a little bit. You have the NSC on top, then the Community Board, and then the Community Relations Committee. That's it. There's no regional board. So if a resident is wondering, what is this board structure above me? Well, first you have the board committee, that Community Relations Committee, dedicated just to Green Spring. Then you have the whole community board, which is made up of all those NSC members and myself. So now, on the committees, if I could just take a moment on that, those 8 committees that are listed there, they do what I call all the heavy lifting.
Okay.
They do a lot of work that is handed down to all the communities. So for example, I serve on the Investment and Treasury Committee. It's the 3rd from the bottom. We meet as a minimum 4 times per year, and then in between as necessary. And we're managing the whole CCRC investment trust.
Okay.
That's our long-term money.
What is CCRC?
It's Continuing Care Retirement Community Investment Trust.
Okay.
So there are 8 Erickson communities, like ourselves, who voluntarily invest long-term monies in there to pay for things like repositioning or catastrophic problems, replacement of freezers, replacement of dishwashers, some of the things that we had to do.
Replacement of apartments when they get
Oh my
flooded.
gosh, yes. So those committees are important. By the way, the investments did real well. I know hopefully most of the people did well in their investments last year. I mean, the market, it was a great year. We did very well. We performed above the index. And I can tell you that since October 2015, we've been with Vanguard now. And that's where all the funds are invested, Vanguard Management. And we're running about 9.5% annual return.
Wow.
So we're very, very pleased. Our target is 6%, and so you can see we're well over it. You remember the market can go up and down.
Oh, yes.
We're in for the long haul. And the thing I always like to remind the committee members about this is, we don't ever want to lose anything. We'd like to make a little gain, but we don't want to lose anything. So we're probably on the conservative side, 60% equity, 40% fixed. And but that's going real well. On the audit committee, the other committee I serve on, we have actually kicked off the audit, okay? And so it's in process right now. We use PricewaterhouseCoopers as our outside auditing firm. And sometime in April, we'll receive the report, the final report from them. And then in May, there'll be a town hall for all the residents where we'll report on 2017, including the results of the audit. So that's an important function too, to make sure that everything is being done in a proper way, and that our accounts are properly taken care of. And so we have a good record on that. I hope it continues. The last board meeting, the South Region board meeting, comes up on February 16th up at Oak Crest. So we'll meet the old board, and the four communities again of Oak Crest, Riderwood in Maryland, and Ashby Pond and Green Spring here in Virginia. So that's coming up, and then after that we'll be switching over to the NSC Community Board setup, April 1st. The fiscal year runs from April 1st through March 31st for the board. Okay, and so that's why we're in that section.
I can't believe none of you have any questions to ask Roy or any comments to give to him. So, think about what you want to know about this whole structure and how it affects you, and give us a call. Well,
the only other thing, I saw a cute cartoon just before Christmas. A show in the paper. I always read the comics every day. Can't miss that, right? And one child says to the other child, God knows all our sins, and he has them stored up there in his cloud. Did you hear that one? Yeah. You talk about the cloud for storing computer data? Okay, anyway. So.
Oh, we have a call. Let's take that call.
Hi, this is Joe Whedon. I have a question about the changes in town center fireside area. I'm praying that you're not going to mess up the fireplace like the one in Oak Hill got messed up. Please tell me that you're not going to mess with that fireplace.
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question. I haven't seen the final drawings or anything, but actually, I believe that the design committee, the last time we were meeting with the architects, thought that it might be a good thing to maybe build a new fireplace in the dining room, smaller, and open up that area where the existing fireplace is. So, not to let information out broadly, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to mess it up. We're actually going to eliminate the fireplace you see there now and have a new one inside the new dining area. So once they, complete the drawings and everything, there'll be pictures of this. And I think architecturally it's going to look very, very,
But if it's
very,
in the
very
dining
nice.
room, then people can't gather around it in the evening.
Well, there'll be plenty of places to gather in the sitting area, okay, with the new grill set up for you. But again, you have a limited amount of space, okay, there in that area. Again, it's not an individual thing, but I think the design committee, which is made up of residents as well as staff.
Okay, we have another
reviewed
call
that.
coming in. Let's take that call.
Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. When you do fix this fireplace, this new fireplace,
Yes.
I hope that it's attractive and not done on the cheap. because the one in Hunter's Crossing is the cheapest looking thing and a bad advertisement for marketing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm with you, okay. Thanks for your call, yeah.
Okay. We still have a minute or two here.
Sure.
Did you have
Oh, the only other thing I would mention to you that I've been involved with is I've been involved in some training on patient-centered care. You know, in Garden Ridge, they're going to this patient-centered care model, and they're training all of their staff on that. So you move from an institutional model to the patient-centered care. For example, an institutional model, everyone would have breakfast between 7 and 9 every day. That's it. In a patient-centered care, if you have a patient who doesn't like to eat until 9:30, you arrange so that they can eat at that time. So they're in the process of starting to change over to that.
almost, it sounds almost like being in independent living with an aide.
Almost. I mean, but it is clearly a shift, which I think will enhance and improve the services to our residents that are residing at Garden Ridge. So we had some board training on this too, because we have responsibilities. There's a home health committee here at Green Spring that reports to the board on that, made up of staff, and we have regular reporting that's required. They have what they call the Quality Assessment and Improvement Program, where you have metrics so that you can measure exactly how these things are being implemented and are they succeeding.
Yeah.
And the Medicare requires that something is called OASIS, okay? It's called Outcome and Assessment Information Set. That's the official collection tool for Medicare on the data that we have to provide, you know, from Green Spring and all continuing care facilities. So again, a lot of hard work is going to take place by the management team, George Ryall and Christine Paducci, his new administrative assistant, who's doing a great job for us over there.
Delightful person. Yeah.
Yes. So that's something else that's going on, and we've already had some training here in January for that. So.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Roy.
Okay.
I hope you know a little bit more about the structure that we live under and know where to go with the comments, complaints, ideas. If you have an idea of something might work better, let the board know or let the council know, and they'll feed it forward to whatever committee needs to be.
Right.
So stay on top of it. This is your home. It's up to you to make it what you want it to be. So let's see what kind of announcements we have today.